35F, have been married to my husband, 38M, for 7 years. After 3 years of a nearly dead bedroom and lack of affection, I started having an affair with a guy, 49M, from work. Cut it off recently and was working out how and when to confess. I want to thank everyone who commented or DM'd me. Whether it was good or bad, I appreciate the advice and criticism. It gave me perspective on what to do. So I plan on writing my husband 2 letters. One that was very detailed and one that was just straight to the point. And I would have him choose which one. I also felt I should do this after getting a new job, but I was still contemplating doing it sooner. This is where the update takes a serious turn. My husband's phone kept going off last night. He was asleep. I've never snooped through his stuff and never planned to, but it was a woman's name that popped up. So I looked, figured it might have been a family member or something. Turns out it was a chick asking if she was still gonna see him because he hadn't updated her. I was shocked. I went through all the messages. Turned out it was a 19-year-old chick that works at the Starbucks near our house. I woke him up and asked him about it. After a back and forth, he confessed. He's been seeing her for about a year. I was speechless. Then I confessed to my affair, which had started in February. He lost it. Started yelling and cussing and calling me names. I said, "Did you forget about what you just confessed to?" He said, "I don't care," and kept yelling. I started laughing uncontrollably, to the point that he just stared at me. I was laughing and then started crying uncontrollably and screamed. Then I caught myself somehow. I went and took a long shower, then I got dressed. He asked me if we could talk. I said yes when I get back. I left, went to Starbucks, got my drink and asked if the girl was in. She said yes and got her. I said, "So you've been sleeping with my husband?" She was speechless. I said, "I'm not mad at you. You're young, but that's a dangerous game to play and it's not worth it. If you've ever been to my house, please never do so again. But again, I'm not mad at you, okay?" She said okay with tears in her eyes. I got back home and told him what I said to her. I said, "I shouldn't have yelled at you." We started talking, but he starts trying to make excuses as to why what I did was worse. I couldn't even take in a lot of it. I just told him our marriage isn't a marriage. What you did and what I did were equally bad, and our marriage wasn't good before all this. I'm not mad at you. It all makes sense now. It's like I finally got the answer to why you haven't been affectionate towards me. I'm not mad, just done. And you've obviously been done as well, and that's okay. He continued being mad and left. I checked his laptop. There were videos of him and that girl plus another girl from 2021 and another girl from the end of 2019. The past 3 years make sense now. So basically karma is undefeated. I deserve this. I'm crushed. This wasn't how I thought my marriage would go. I'm so broken I feel physically numb. But I also feel like I knew my marriage was over and I should have just called it. But instead I became something I never wanted to be and did things I shouldn't have, and now look. That's why I can't be mad at him. How could I? But him trying to be mad at me? It's probably just his pride, not expecting him to react to things correctly this fresh. But yeah, it's over. Not sure what I will be doing in terms of our living situation, but yeah, it's over. I'm sad, I'm ashamed, and just stunned at how everything has fallen apart. And there's nothing I can do about it but be better in the future. I will try talking to my husband again. I just want us to be fine. The marriage is over. We both did wrong, but I don't hate him. We just held on when we should have let go. I'm sorry this was so long. I'm emotional and hope this update was clear. I will answer whatever questions there are. Comments. At least you're smart enough to realize there is no working on a marriage like the one you're in. You would just end up hating each other. I'm sorry it came to this. If you do nothing else, promise yourself you're done being a cheater. Clearly he needs to do the same, but as you said in your post, be a better partner for the next person you care about. Tell them about all of this and the work I'm sure you're going to do to make sure you don't do it again. Communication is a wonderful thing. It may not seem like it to you, but this was the best case scenario. Now please don't jump into another relationship where it happens all over again. Take time to be alone, get into therapy, and try to grow as a person. Okay, next interesting story. Caught my girlfriend cheating, and now she is mad at me. I just need a place to vent. So last weekend, I caught my girlfriend cheating. She was coming out of a bar with another guy, and then they started hugging outside and inside of the car. This lasted for about 4 to 5 minutes, As she pulled off to leave, I stood in front of the car before she could drive off. Her jaw dropped to the floor and I walked away. She then calls me and is mad that I lied to her about being at work that night. I left early and using her location to find her at a bar with another man. I told her she is just trying to flip the wrong she did on me when she was the one out cheating. She says she didn't cheat. Earlier that night when I was leaving work because I felt ill, I called and texted her. No response. Then I sent her a text saying emergency. She called back in 2 minutes. I told her I feel really sick. I left work early and I tried to drive home, but I can't. Can you come get me please? I'm on the side of the road off the interstate. She said no, I can't. I'm at a pool party and I've had something to drink and I don't want to drive. I can call you an Uber or something. I was really disappointed and just slept on the side of the road for a few hours until I felt better. This was around 11 p.m. At 2 a.m., I wake up. No calls or text from her, so I called her when I started to feel better when I noticed she was still out by the sounds in the background of the phone call. She got mad at me for expecting her to drive to help me on the side of the road when she said she had a drink, and at this point she is yelling saying I was at a pool party, and I had a drink. I offered a solution. Leave me alone about it. I'm on my way home. I found it very odd she was yelling at me for something I needed her help with. I've never asked for help at all in the 3 years we were together. Plus, I noticed her car sounded like she was parking somewhere. So, I pull up her location that she shared with me years ago but never used. She wasn't on her way home. She was at the bar with some dude. When I got there around 3 a.m. and saw them together by the car, I took pictures and video of what I saw. She now is trying to deny that I saw what I saw. She said I violated her trust and privacy by stalking her, basically coming to where she said she wasn't, and says she met him that night. All she did was hug him goodbye, and when he tried to kiss her neck she pushed him off. From my video, it didn't happen that way. They were hugging each other for minutes and it looked like they were kissing. She denies it and refuses to accept what I saw with my own 2 eyes standing right behind them and with proof. She now says I was in the wrong and is mad at me. How is this possible for her when I am the one that is mad and should be pissed? Comments: dude, you know what you saw and you have the videos and pictures too. I may come on she's mad at you because you caught her cheating. Actually, my ex got mad at me because I caught her cheating too, but you know what you do, right? Tell them to fuck off and you go live a good life. Because you allow it. Why is she still your girlfriend? Why do you keep calling her your girlfriend? What I think you meant was the ex, right? She is mad at you because you didn't just do what you usually do and let her shit all over you. She's a cunt. Period. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't love you. She'd rather drink at a bar with her date than come and help you when you aren't feeling good. So again, why is it you keep calling her girlfriend, as well as why are you even caring that she mad? She cheated. Break up and block her. Stop fucking being a doormat. She doesn't respect you and she doesn't love you. Break up. Okay, next amazing story. Wife cheated in front of our son. My soon-to-be ex-wife and I are both 26, and we have a 5-year-old son and 10-month-old girl together. I work as one of the managers at an IT company whilst she works as a receptionist at a hospital. She hasn't been working much due to pregnancy and maternity leave. I'm quite an outgoing person, whereas she is quite introverted and only really enjoys spending time with close family members, her family plus me and the children, and friends she's known since childhood. On Saturday, July 1st, 2023, an ex-employee from my place of work, age 23, came to my house thinking I would be around because he knows I don't work on Saturdays. He wanted to give me important documents that I had left at his house the previous day when we were discussing work-related matters. My wife opened the door and didn't know who he was, so he explained himself that he works for me, and then she allowed him inside and offered him coffee whilst he waits for me. I was at my parents' house 5 miles away. This is what happened next, according to this ex-employee, as best I can remembering him saying over the phone 2 days ago. Our conversation: employee: do you know about me and your wife? Me: what do you mean? Explain. Employee: remember that day last month when you weren't home and I came to drop off documents, and sorry because I should have called you beforehand? Me: yes, so what? Employee: after your wife invited me in and offered to make coffee, we began to talk and quickly bonded over literature. She was very friendly, and I know what I'm about to tell you is very wrong of me to do, but We started kissing, and your son, who came into the living room at that moment, then asked who I was, and she told him not to worry, that he should just go watch TV. We then went upstairs and, slept together. Me: are you joking? Because if you're just trying to cause trouble, don't. Employee: no, it's not a lie. I just thought I would tell you because that little boy saw his mother with someone else, and years down the line, if you ever did find out, I wouldn't want you to think that I scared a little boy without caring. Remember that your wife is the married one, not me. I didn't force her. Me: I don't believe you at all. Employee: that is why I resigned, July 7th. Because I didn't know whether you knew or not, and would rather resign than have a sacking on my record. Me: I'll ask her, and if true, I'll deal with you appropriately. Employee: okay, but like I said, I didn't force her, not did I do anything illegal. You won't hear from me again, sorry. I was livid with anger and hurt at the same time. This is an employee who only started working for me in May, and I'm certain she never even knew he existed up until that day. I asked her, who denied it at first, but then owned up to what happened after she realized the severity of the situation, including the employee quitting. She said she is very sorry and doesn't know what came over her. I then said, apparently our son saw you, and then she began crying. I said to her that I was going to stay with my parents for a few days whilst I decide what to do. My parents, and even her family members too, are very supportive of me and do not condone what she did. I've seen my son on FaceTime and baby daughter too, and told them that I will be with them soon. I've decided that there is no coming back from this, and will definitely get a divorce from my wife, but the only issue is custody and finances. I don't want to be like the many men who get a divorce due to the fault of their wives, only to lose the house and only see the kids on the weekends. How do I go about this to ensure I don't lose the house and that I see my kids as equally, if not more than her? I live in England, BTW. Comments: she brought a stranger into the house with her kids there. Then she cheated on you with them in the house. You can easily get custody of the kids. 1. She endangered the kids by bringing a stranger in the house. 2. Neglecting the kids for her tryst. And 3. For the cheating itself, which shows lack of morals on her part, i.e. bad parent. Hope you life in an at-fault state. You should get house and custody of kids. I'm sorry about all of this. See an attorney and learn about the divorce and adultery laws in your state or jurisdiction. There may be a possibility of legal action against him, or even the threat of it. Your wife either lost her mind or has some practiced skills in this area, and you've been snookered for a long time. Find a good, assertive attorney. How do you like these unusual stories? Write your opinion in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Love you.